Apologies. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, fellow Toastmasters and guests, we will going to follow some ground rules. Those who are connected to virtually are requested to turn on their videos and mute their mics unless they are asked to do so. Those who are present physically are requested to put their mobile phones on silent mode, and you are requested not to move during the speech. Let's give full attention towards the speaker so that we can give at least some respect to the speaker. With that, now I would like to hand over the charge to the president of Karachi Toastmasters Club, currently serving as district director, 4 times GTM. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Talha Bin Hamid.
Thank you so much, everyone. Let's pretend to follow the protocols because in the last meeting, some objection was raised by some attendees that aren't you following protocols? So everyone, good evening and thank you for joining another joyful and hopefully well-attended meeting of Karachi Toastmasters Club. We again have a full agenda today and the theme for today is intellect. Now, since there are no guests, we will skip over the part where we introduce the Toastmasters to you because, yes, we do have guests. Technically, I should do that.
Yes.
So Toastmasters is okay, I need to turn on the play button on the internal record player. So Toastmasters is an organization based in Colorado, USA, and it runs the Toastmasters program around the world. It may not seem like it, but it's a volunteer program. It may not seem like it, but we don't get paid for it. And the program is headquartered in Colorado, USA. The whole organization is based here, based there. There are more than 17,000 Toastmasters clubs around the world, and more than 123 districts around the world, and more than 350,000 individual Toastmasters around the world. In Pakistan, we have 47 Toastmasters clubs and growing. And we have around 800 to 1,000 Toastmasters club, Toastmaster members, provided everybody is prompt with their renewals, which they should be, by the way. So the main purpose of Toastmasters is to improve the communication and leadership skills of its members. But since it's a volunteer organization, it also imparts a lot of other skills. And I believe the first skill that we all need to learn is to be better human beings. And like it or not, without even wanting to, without even noticing, we end up becoming better human beings. And one day we realize that we are doing a lot of things that we didn't even think about doing before joining Toastmasters. So Toastmasters program is all based around feedback and positivity. We are not allowed to disparage any member. We are not allowed to criticize any member. And our core values are respect, integrity, service, and excellence. And by the way, this sequence, RISE, is strictly not allowed. Instead, we are told that we should say integrity, respect, service, and excellence because they deliberately want us to not coin an abbreviation out of it. So with that, I now invite our secretary for a brief business session and a brief overview of the minutes of the last word of the day. Over to you, Toastmaster Ashar Anjum.
Thank you so much, President. Our last meeting was held on 16 Feb 2020, and the theme was Pain of Love. And we have a full house of around 20 people in this room and around 10 virtually. Duration of that meeting was 3 hours and 15 minutes. The best speaker was myself, Toastmaster Ashar Anjum. Best table topic speaker was Toastmaster Umair or the guest Umair. Best evaluator was GTM Sarfaraz Nazir. Best facilitator was Toastmaster Azhar Khan as timer. Best in Big Four was our deputy Deputant Toastmaster Umair Munaf. And that's all from the business session. Over to the president.
Thank you so much. And now it is time for me to introduce our Toastmaster of the day. Our Toastmaster of the day is, his mentor comes in at the precise moment. Our Toastmaster of the day is someone that always manages to inspire, whether he's doing a role or doing a speech, and whether he's attending the whole meeting or not, which is more often than not. He always leaves an indelible mark. And I remember one of his speeches in which he won the Best Speaker Award, and the tagline was, I'm not experienced.
I'm a slow learner.
I am a slow learner. So yes, he's by no means a slow learner. He's just being modest. He always has something very meaningful to say, and he always manages to deliver it in a very, very impactful manner. So with that, please put your hands together for our Toastmaster of the day. You're the debutant Toastmaster.
Yes.
Toastmaster Sayyid Rujal.
Hello, Toastmaster and guest. I am very happy to listen about my introduction, which was given by the president. It is the most compatible introduction I have ever had. Today, I am very happy to announce the theme, which has already been announced. But I was thinking that I am going to announce it principal because this is my debutant role today. So the today theme is intellect. Intellect. There are various species on our planet, like humans, like animals, like sea animals, like birds, insects. There are many species, but intellect is the only thing which differentiates us from these human or these living beings. This is the only differentiation we have. And just because of this intellect, we are ruling the society. And we are ruling over all these species. We are the social animal just because of this. We are going to have 3 sessions today. Definitely, as ever, prepared speech, table topic session, and evaluation and feedback session. Prepared speech is totally the educational session in which only members can be participated. And they are going to deliver the prepared speech in front of the intellectual people, and they are going to judge them. So it's a very healthy and learning session. Second session is table topic session. The table topic session is for both members and guests can both participate. It is a random asking questions about the current discussion, and we have to answer these questions in a very intellectual way by using our reflexes, by using our communication skills. And third one is my favorite, evaluation and feedback. Whatever the communication is being done on this platform is being evaluated by the evaluator, and they are going to give a very, very motivational evaluation. Very healthy discussion is going to be taken place on this last session. So these are the 3 sessions which we are going to go in this meeting. So first of all, I would like to call the facilitators who are in the meeting today. First of all, I would like to call the timer, Mr. Imran Rana, TM Imran Rana. Would you like to come on the stage and explain the role?
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, a very good evening. I'm the timer of today's meeting. My role is to make sure that the meeting proceedings are on time. There will be different timing for different segments. For prepared speeches, if the speeches are from 5 to 7 minutes, I'll show the green bulb at 5 minutes, yellow bulb at 6 minutes, red bulb at 7 minutes. This red bulb means that you have only 30 seconds to complete your speech. After 30 seconds, you will be disqualified. Same signal goes for 4 to 6 minutes at 4 green, 5 for yellow, and 6 for red. And after 30 seconds, he will be disqualified if the speaker is unable to complete his speech. For table topics, this is very important for everyone and especially for the guests. For table topics, the time duration is 1 to 2.5 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll show the green light, green bulb. For virtual audience, my background will turn into green. At 1.5, I'll show the yellow bulb. At 2 minutes, I'll show the red bulb. Now this means you have only 30 seconds to complete your speech. After that, you will be disqualified for voting. And for prepared speech evaluation, the time duration is from 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll show the green. At 2.5, I'll show the yellow. At 3 minutes, I'll show the red. This means 30 seconds left to complete your evaluation. After that, you will be disqualified for voting. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Tia Imran Nana, for giving a very detailed analysis about the role you are going to take place. Now I would like to call grammarian Ali Zarram. So he is going to explain what he is performing today. You just go ahead.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening. Today my role is grammarian. I will be noting down good and bad usage of grammar, and at the end of the meeting, I will show my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, TM Ali Zarram. Now I would like to call Word Master TM Umair Munaf.
No, it's perfectly fine now. Should I mute my mute?
Mr. Imran, if you are the host, please. We cannot hear them.
Yes, now you will.
Now you can hear.
Now you will.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, you are on.
So today word of the day is optimistic or optimism. Basically, optimism means to be confident or positive about the future or attitude reflecting a belief of a positive or favorable desirable conditions. So that's it. Remember word of the day, optimism or optimistic. So I will be counting number of times everybody is using this word, and at the end of the meeting, I will be sharing number of times, highest number of times who's have used.
Can you give us some examples about optimism?
I am always optimistic about future and to complete my assignment in a very positive manner.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the example. It's really appreciating. Now I would like to call listener TM Javed Bhatti.
Okay, you can join it, so you can.
This session will never be completed without the initial laughter. So it's time to laugh on very, very optimistic and very, very intellectual jokes. I would like to call TM Fahim Razak to play the role of joke master. Thank you.
Thank you to Toastmaster. Good evening, members and guests. Things that were overheard in a health club. I'm only taking this class so I don't eat for an hour. Who knew 40 years of neglect would have repercussions? Does this body make me look fat? A little riddle. What's the best thing about Switzerland?
Switzerland.
Jeez.
I don't know, but the flag is a big plus. My friend Junaid had the solution to forgetting his wife's birthday and their wedding anniversary. He opened an account with a local florist and it provided it with both dates, as well as the instruction to send flowers and card signed, "Your loving husband, Junaid." It worked well for a few years. Then one day Junaid came home on their wedding anniversary. He saw the flowers on the dining table and said, "What nice flowers. Where did you get them?" Mr. Toastmaster.
DTM Talha Bin Hamid, Dynamic Leadership, Icebreaker Speech title, Diddly Squat. Mr. Fahim Razak, DTM Fahim Razak is going to explain about the speech title and details.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Hello, everyone. I guess my next speaker doesn't need no introduction. He's obviously 4 times DTM, the president of this club. And I had a pleasure of knowing him over the last 2.5 months. And I can say with honestly that I've learned so much from him, not least the new words that he seems to introduce every time, so much so that I'm carrying a dictionary in my bag now. And not only in the meeting, but also on the WhatsApp group. Very natural and eloquent speaker, of course. His speech title is Deadly Squat. It's an icebreaker speech. The length of the speech is 4 to 6 minutes. Please welcome and put your hands together to DTM Talha.
No thanks for that introduction. It's totally unfair to an icebreaker. So, am I audible and visible, everyone? Yeah, I'm just buying time. Anyway. I was born 14 billion years ago. There was this tiny ball of infinite density. Diddly squat. Suddenly it exploded into the Big Bang. And in what is known as the very early universe, or very early Talha Bin Hamid, for the first picosecond, it expanded into a random soup of matter and energy and particles. And then the early universe, that went by in a flash, 370,000 years. The particles that I'm made of came into being. Electrons, protons, neutrons, quarks, bosons, leptons, gluons, you name it. So from diddly squat, I turned into zilch. But I had not done growing. For the next 650 million years, it all expanded. And it all became a fine mist, a cloud, which was dotted here and there with baby galaxies and stars. And so from diddly squat to zilch to a cloud. I had not done growing. For the next billion years, it all started to magically coalesce into galaxies and planets and stars. And I took the form of a big scarf spiral with 5 arms. You may know it as the Milky Way galaxy. But I was not done growing. I sought a new identity as a small leverage-sized yellow star rotating at the outer arm of the galaxy called the Sun. And I also then became something else, a greenish blue blob of rock, the likes of which exist nowhere else in the universe, the planet Earth. But something was missing. I was still not satisfied. So I just sat there for 4 billion years and then decided to emerge on the planet in the form of a squiggly mass of carbon and protein and iron and a lot of random molecules. With a cry on June 28, 1978 in Karachi. Some people call that a human being. I was born to a father who was a PhD in organic chemistry and a mother who is a master's in Urdu and Islamic. So I stumbled and grumbled and tumbled through school and to O levels, where I secured a grand score of 2 A's and 4 B's. And voila, it was considered a brilliant performance. Thank God there was no internet at that time. So again, from diddly squat to zilch maybe. 14 billion and 7 years after my birth, I was joined by my sister. I again stumbled through college, grade B, zilch, and then joined chartered accountancy and emerged as a chartered accountant in July 2002. Perhaps not a cloud, but something. After that, it has been a harrowing journey, a roller coaster ride, provided that roller coaster rode on the ground. I took another form in 2008. I got married. Again, from diddly spot to a solar system of 2 suns and 4 planets, or children to you mortals. But again, I had not done growing. 20 to 25 years later, I decided that I've had enough. So I sought to reunite with what I came from. And I decayed into this mass of silicon-based powder that populates this planet. But I won't lie in peace. A couple billion years later, the atmosphere had evaporated and an asteroid hit the Earth. And my innocent atoms were thrown into the void between stars. I drifted and drifted and drifted for billions of years until I arrived at Alpha Centauri and dissolved into the sun, becoming once again hydrogen and helium. Diddly squat or maybe zilch? Certainly not a cloud. And then all started coming together. The heat death of the universe approached. 14 billion years later, I had grown old. My atoms had lost all energy. I could not move. And I sought mercy, and the mercy came in the form of a big crunch. Everything ceased to exist and recompressed into that little mass of matter energy. Diddly squat all over again. Over to you, Toastmaster.
What a wonderful and mind-roaming speech.
Diddly squat or search?
It was a deadly spot. Okay. And what about the next speaker? Should we play a draw about the next speaker, or should I call according to the sequence?
Toastmaster Umair Munaf.
PM Hiba Rais Khan, she is going to explain about the speech because she is the evaluator.
Okay, PM Umair Munaf is doing his presentation mastery level 2, project 1, and the title of the speech is complicated. The duration of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and there are 2 objectives. The first one is the purpose of this project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. And the second one is the purpose of this speech is for the member to share the impact of his or her style on others. Over to TM Umair.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. And no guest.
No, one guess.
One guess.
Let me start again. Assalamu alaikum. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Do you know, everybody in this world has a unique communication style. Even when a child is born, why he cries? Because he is fear of, and he is expressing his fear to enter in this world. It is his way to communicate. Everybody has a very unique set of communications, but research shows that there are four categories, major categories of communication skills. If I name them: direct communicators, analytical, supportive, and initiative. I will discuss one by one with each of you. To understand this style, I will like to start with this, assuming this is a gift box, a wrapped gift box, and nothing is written on it. I have gift. This gift I will give to four different people that have four different communication styles and express and explain how will they react according to their communication style. Let's start with the first person that has direct communication style. Direct communicator is an independent, confident, focused, result-oriented. When I will give this gift to the direct communication style, the person who has direct communication style, he will open as soon as possible. He will not worry about who is watching him or to open it carefully or what is written and nothing like that. And he is not afraid to even ask help from someone and not to waste time, and he is not a shy person at all. This was the direct communication. Let me give this, if I give this gift to the initiative one, the one who has initiative communication skill. This guy has a very slightly different way of communication comparative to the direct one. He will not open it at once. He will like to share his feelings about the gift with other person. He like to share stories. He is the one who posts on internet before opening an Instagram and that this person gives me and tag and like that. He is very enthusiastic, socialized, fun-loving. He will not open and even open it later. Even he is not interested in what inside. He is just happy about he got a gift inside and would like to talk with others. This was. Now how will the third person react? Who has the communication skill of supportive styles? He is very calm, steady, reserved person. He reacts in a very different way. In fact, if he gets the gift, he is more concerned about how many of others got the gift, whether he is the only one or he is not. All the person got this. He is worried about. He care about others as well. Is anything unfair happening to everyone else, or he is just the only one? He want to be ensured that everyone is taken care of, not about himself. He's not concerned more about himself. He is the supportive one. Now the fourth one. The analytical one. Yes, he is again very different person. When he will receive this box, first of all, he will give attention to details. How is it wrapped? Why label is not there or card is not mentioned. He will meticulously, carefully open this wrap. Make sure the wrapper is not torn and make care of it. ensure that the coverage. He tries to be perfectionist. He pay attention to the fact and figures while communicating to others, and he only get convinced when he is given with facts and figures. He don't rely on stories and he is a very organized person. He prepares his answers before asking to someone. Now, I will ask you, which one do you think is the best communication style? Will anyone would like to share?
Analytical.
I think the supportive one.
Anyone else?
It depends.
Yes. There is no perfect communication style. There is nothing like best communication style. This is not just 2 and 2 plus 4 like thing. It is complicated, as my title says. It's complicated. We have to modify our communication style from person to person. If a person is an analytical, we have to convince him and communicate in an analytical manner. If a person is the supportive one or initiative one, he likes stories, we have to build stories to convince him and pitch him accordingly. If he is a direct, we have to conclude him directly, otherwise he will not be convinced. So what do you, if I ask you again, what should be the best communication style?
It's very complicated.
Thank you so much.
Different gift received by the different people who gave the different conclusion, and they have got the different communication style. But you have completed, you have started level 2, and we are your colleague, but we never receive any gift.
Now you may call
The third speaker
Now you can call the
Is-
first, sorry. You can call the
TM Sarfaraz Nazir and Mr. TM Shamsuddin Memon is going to evaluate his speech. So over to TM Shamsuddin Memon.
Thank you so much. Fellow Toastmasters, it is my immense pleasure that I have been given an opportunity to evaluate a person, a Toastmaster, who is not only a distinguished Toastmaster, but I would say he knows ethics of public speaking and leadership skills. By profession, I would like to share that he is an industrial engineer, and he served as area director to District 25 and District 50 at the same time, and thereby he earned an award of Select Distinguished Area Award. He uses to say, and he observes, in other words, that we as human beings always plan. As you know, someone who fails to plan actually plans to fail. So we always used to plan our weddings, our programs, and many things in life, but we miserably fail to plan when we are going to the final journey of life. Final journey, I mean life after here. So please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Sarfaraz Nazir, who is going to present his project level 3 leadership development, and the project is planning and implementing, and the speech title is When I Am Gone. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished Toastmaster Sarfaraz Nazir, When I Am Gone.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
2 weeks ago, on the 9th of this month, I gave a speech titled The Last Word, in which I talked about my younger sister who worked as a doctor in a hospital in Muscat. And I mentioned that on 14th of May, 2016, I found out that she was visiting Karachi on vacation. I called and talked to her. And I said, all of you go out and have a nice dinner. It's my treat. Those words turned out to be my last words to her. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guest. The next day, she was taken to the hospital, never to return. Since her condition did not improve, on 4th of June, 2016, 3 weeks after I talked to her, I arrived at Karachi airport around 2 in the morning. It was about 3 o'clock when I came out of the international terminal. Instead of going home, I wanted to go straight to the hospital. I was told that they will not let me inside the hospital in the middle of the night. I went home 3 hours later, about 6 o'clock that morning. We received a call from the hospital that my sister, Dr. Shamim, had passed on. In the afternoon, before the funeral, several ladies came to our house. Some of them said she was waiting for her brother. And some of them said she must have known that her brother has arrived. I did not know what they meant by it. So I was explained the meaning of those words. See, before I arrived Karachi, one day the doctor or doctors told my sisters, this is it, go and make arrangements. On a short notice, my sisters were unable to make arrangements at the army graveyard, which is the final resting place of my parents. So they found another graveyard in Karachi. 3 days later, they were told that you cannot have an open grave for a person who is still living. So that grave was given away to someone else. So that's what they meant, that she was supposed to pass away that day when the doctor said, go and make arrangements. But she was holding on for her only brother to show up. That made me realize that when someone passes on the one hand, the family has to mourn their loss. And on the other hand, they have to run around like a chicken with its head cut off to make arrangements, to contact people. Sometimes they don't even know who to contact to let everyone know. And then to find out their background, where their bank accounts are, what property they had, what they wanted done with their property. And that's when thought, we plan all our lives. Why not plan for our final journey? I've heard people leaving this world without a will, people were leaving this world without any instructions, and then the family members fighting. My case, I know I have several online accounts, Facebook, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, I have bank accounts, email accounts. When I'm gone, how is my family going to get to those accounts? So I got a passport book. It's a small book that has a place for me to write down my account, user ID, and passwords. So when I'm gone, my family can get access to those accounts. Then many times, family members are not sure who to contact to let them know that their friend has passed on. So I had to get this book, What My Family Should Know. My family knows I am a Toastmaster, that I know a lot of Toastmasters, but do they know how to contact them? So this book has information, who to contact, where to contact, and what to tell them. Then what about bank accounts? I have joint account that my family has access to. But in addition to that, I also have individual checking account, individual saving account, investment account. If my family does not know how to access those, what will happen to the money? Because that money is hard-earned money. It was not given to me. I earned by working. Therefore, I got another book that says, Making Things Easy for My Family. Let them know all the accounts that I have, what is to be done, how to access them. See, why don't we talk about death? Because death is something that we know is going to happen one day, just like death and taxes is final. But still, we hate the idea of dying. So that's why we avoid the subject of death. That's one reason I read in a newspaper that more than 50% of Americans do not have a will, in which case the state takes over the estate. It takes their administration fee, and then it has to distribute the rest. And sometimes people challenge. People come up and say, oh, he promised me money. I need some of the money. So that's why I have a will. I have a book where I'm writing all my accounts with passwords and user IDs. A book where I'm listing where my things are, who to contact to let them know that I have passed on. List of all my accounts. I even have some bags with some coins hidden in my closet. And then what to do with some of my property. I have more than 36 trophies that I've earned by competing in international speech contest, evaluation contest, tall tale contest, and table topics contest. And I thought, those trophies mean a lot to me, but they don't mean anything to other people. So I just kept the 2 trophies that I received in the semifinals and trophies that I received at the district level. The rest of the trophies, I took the name tags off and destroyed them because I figured, why leave them behind so my family has to take care of them? And I was going through one of my boxes and I found I have my examination papers from the 9th class and the 10th class when I was in Karachi. And I'm wondering, why have I kept them? And what is my family going to do with them? Hang them on a wall that these were my exam papers? So I thought, before I leave this world, I need to take care of all these things, dispose them off properly, or leave instructions for what to do with what I will leave behind. So my plan that I've been implementing is not finalized yet. I'm still working on it. Write all my accounts, give them access to all my accounts, online accounts, my bank accounts, my contacts. And finally, later on, I'm going to visit some of the local graveyards and make final arrangements so that the day I pass on, my family does not have to mourn on one side and then have to worry about making final arrangements. I will make those arrangements before I leave. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
It's really a very heart-wrenching story initially, and then he gave a very, very important lesson to us. And this is really, we can say, as I said earlier in the meeting, that it is practical. It is very important. So next, go towards our next speaker, TM Weshan Aziz, and DTM Sarfaraz Nazir is going to evaluate him. So over to you, DTM Sarfaraz.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Toastmaster Weshan Aziz is presenting from the Presentation Mastery Pathway, Level 2, Project 2, Effective Body Language. The purpose of this project is for Toastmaster Weshan to deliver a speech with awareness of intentional and unintentional body language, as well as to learn, practice, and refine how he uses nonverbal communication when delivering a speech. The speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Please welcome Toastmaster Weshan Aziz.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. We all know that Women's Day is coming up, International Women's Day. And I'm personally against having just one day to celebrate women, half of society's achievements, but that's another discussion. Does anyone know what women consistently do better than men?
Easy.
Easy? Depends on the relationship, maybe. Okay, okay. Anyone else? In my case, I think so.
Asset management.
Revenge? Sorry, I didn't.
Someone from online.
Yeah.
Asset management. Asset management.
Asset management,
That's
maybe.
the research. What says the research?
Right,
says.
right, I agree.
Their own ones.
Okay, but there is one thing they do consistently better than men. It's reading body language. Why? Studies have shown that since women spend more time with children from a young age, they need to, look at the babies, look at the children, and understand the body language more.
Yes.
And that's one aspect. The second aspect is women tend to face more challenges in the workplace, so they have to, interact with others as well, and they have to be more careful and understanding of different people's body language. Okay, so sorry. Our body languages are kind of similar to languages in the sense that our cultures make our languages, not only our spoken languages, but also our visual languages. So, for example, one cultural body language that we have is when we were young, maybe still now, we would not show our back to the elders, right? This is quite true. I unfortunately learned this the hard way, not by speaking, but sometimes by the hand, back in the day. So today I want to share with you a few examples of cultural body languages and how they might be misinterpreted, innocently misinterpreted. So the first one, imagine you're having a pizza with a group of people and somebody asks you, hey, how is it? And you replied, what does that mean?
Great.
Great. It means great. In some cultures in the West, in America and stuff, it doesn't mean great, it means okay. And this is how it started, but notice everyone here said great. Now imagine the people you are eating with are Japanese, French, Brazilian, and Turkish. And you did the same thing. How is the pizza? Great. To the Japanese person, this means money. So he might think you're looking for money right now. To the French person, this means zero. So you might think, okay, this pizza is actually zero. It's quite bad. And to the Brazilian and the Turkish, if I tell you what it means, it will be my last meeting here. Okay. Another one. Imagine you're walking with someone and they decide to empty their nose or spit onto the grass when you're walking with them. What do you think? Unhygienic.
Yeah.
Gross. Why did he do that? Why did she do that? Unnecessary. Now imagine somebody saw you from the Far East and they said, why did this person just blow his nose into a tissue, put it in his pocket, and use it again later? In fact, if you didn't notice, I started the speech by doing that.
Yeah.
You might not have noticed. Slightly ill, sorry. But no, there's a reason behind that. So just a small history lesson here is, in Europe, when tuberculosis was being started at the beginning and was being spread, people thought that by spitting or blowing your nose out, it can be contagious with other people. So that's why people started doing it. But in the Far East, they never had tuberculosis spreading like the way it was in the past century. So that is the reason why we have this difference over there. And the last one is this. Silence. Silence, you might not see it, you might not hear it, but its expression is very, very loud. It can be heard loud and clear. In some cultures, it means agreeing with someone. In some cultures, it means disagreeing with someone. So imagine you were asked this question, are you happy with our marriage? And you replied with, indeed, you're about to have a very long conversation, but be optimistic. It might be for a good reason. So as we meet people from different cultures, some of us work with people from around the world, some of us see people from around the world in videos, and sometimes we watch TV. I have a small exercise, a request of you all. The next time you're flipping the TV and you find a foreign movie, mute it, and then try watching it. You'll be surprised by how much you know, and you'll also be surprised by how much you don't know because of the cultural differences. Especially if it's an old movie. New movies, pretty much all the same. Old movies, you would see stark differences. So with that, I leave you all with just a reminder that the age-old phrase does hold true. Actions do speak louder than words. Thank you.
TM Karim Meghani is going to deliver the speech, and Taha Hassan is going to evaluate him. So over to you, Taha Hassan.
Thank you. First, let me confirm that am I audible?
Yes, you are.
It's a pleasure for me to evaluate such a talented speaker such as Karim Meghani. Today, he is doing. Let me confirm first. Sorry for the delay. Yes. Today, he is doing his strategic relationship level 4, project 1, public relationship strategies, if I'm right. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to efficiently use public relationship strategies for any group or situation. And also the purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspects of his public relationship strategy. In this case, is the speech title is what we can do to attract. What we can do to attract Karim Meghani. Over to you.
February is coming, and the executive committee, the first thing in the agenda, how we will renew our members for the next term. I think people sitting at the executive committee right now, they must be thinking the same. Toastmaster of the day, dear Toastmasters and guests. This is the discussion, this is the first thing in the agenda of my last executive committee meeting for the Madagascar Toastmaster Club. Because March was approaching, how we will do the renewals. And then we start the brainstorming that, you know, are we sure that we did a wonderful job to get 25 members in the club in July, August? Do you think that all will renew? Because we can see in our memberships, there are so many who are sleeping members. They are there, no projects, no level up, nothing, no speeches. But there are some who are really active. Some are just witnessing each other. Yeah, I will get a courage to do a speech next day, next week. Another speech, maybe one speech or two speech, probably at the half level in 6 months. So by 6 months, the motivation is gone almost. And then the March renewal will come and we will say that you have to pay this dollars amount. They will say, better, why I waste this money? Let's remove my name from the club. I think a lot of people in this right now in front of me, they must be thinking the same, but we don't want that.
No, they are.
As the executive committee, we don't want that. We want you to renew. We will renew the first. So that was the discussion, and we analyzed how we will manage our memberships this time. And that's it. The first thing we did, let's announce it. Let's do a poster. And I was the person, first thing, told the executive committee, another poster. Every meeting there is a poster. The members will see a poster of renewal. They will think this is a meeting poster and they will not renew. Let's think about another strategy. What can be the another strategy? We did an open house in August. That was the success part. And we get 25 memberships. Open house. I am the treasurer. So this much dollars we need for an open house. We'll be doing in a 5-star hotel. Do you think we will get the members? We will get the members, but where the money will come from? The executive committee have to pay from themselves. Or maybe we have to charge the members that to give some contributions. And that means there is another reason for non-motivated members to come to this open house. So no open house. What will be the motivation now to bring the new members? Let's do multiple strategies. The president came suddenly. Karim, I think people will listen my voice. I said, sir, yes, everybody respect you. Okay, let me do a video and I will send it a short video in the club group and let all the members listen to me and maybe they will renew the membership. President, let's do it. What is the next thing we should do? Okay, posters, I think let's do it. Still, but let's do it some innovative posters, maybe a GIF, some movement, some animations. So people will see that there is a renewal. Let's get some innovative ideas. Okay, poster is one thing. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, everywhere this poster will be there for renewals. How we will announce the price? That's interesting thing. The price, I as a treasurer again said, one strategy. Let's tell all the members, you can pay in installments. This worked. And we said, okay, third strategy. Installments, posters, president will do his speech. Wonderful. 3 marketing strategies. Another idea came from the VPR. Why don't we do this? I know the radio guy. Let's do a radio show. I'm not Malagasy. I don't know. I don't speak Malagasy. You guys can do a show. Is there volunteers who wants to do a radio show? The VPR and VPE said, let's do a radio show. I know that our target groups, Toastmasters, are coming on the office in the morning. Let's take the show of 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock. Let's have a 10-minute presentation on our Toastmasters in the radio. Let's find what is the cost. Let's try this. 4th strategy. Again, we are thinking it will work. We will get 20 members. We will want to attract new members also. Another idea came. Let's go and check how many English clubs are in the capital, in Madagascar.
Sir. Karim?
Karim, you're muted.
Karim, unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself.
You are also
Karim.
No, I'm not
That's the
using.
strategy. That's the part of the
To our
strategy.
club. And that's strategy. And that's it. Renewals announced. All the strategies were done. And finally, we get our 20 renewals. I am top of the moon right now. Not me only, but the whole executive committee. Ladies and gentlemen, that is public relation for you. We work hard On the back side, you can ask the VP, you can ask the VPR, you can ask the president, the secretary, treasurer. We all work hard for your renewals because we want you in our club. So please join the club. Your renewals are also coming at KTC. Let's do our renewals. Over to you, Toastmaster today.
Yeah, Toastmaster Karim, speaking of which, your renewal is also due.
It seems like VPPM suggested him to come up with this speech.
It's an optimistic strategical speech in which he shows a bunch of strategy. I am quite optimistic that he always going to pay on time. TM Javed Bhatti is going to be our next speaker. And TM Anam Qadri.
If Latif
is here, Latif is here. Where is Latif? Latif is here.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It's good if I speak after Javed Bhatti. I'll reach home by then.
Okay.
TM Anam Qadri.
Thank you so much, Modi. Fellow Toastmasters and guests. Once upon a time, there was a room or a corner in a building that felt dreary and dull. It looked more like a dungeon. Until, hey, I'm not here to tell you the story, but TM Javed Bhatti here is. His pathways is engaging humor. Level 3, connect with storytelling. Speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. The purpose of this statement is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. His speech title is Tale of Concert. Toastmaster Javed Bhatti, Tale of Concert. Tale of Concert, Toastmaster Javed Bhatti. Over to you. Best of luck.
Who is into music? Who loves music? Raise your hand. If you are into rock music, we are brothers. I was a die-hard fan of heavy metal and rock music in my teenage years. Only if my parents were not so concerned about having more children, and only if I had one more elder brother who could take care of my family responsibilities so that I could pursue my career into music, I would have surely done that. As you all know, recently COVID restrictions have been lifted and there are so many concerts going on. While I was scrolling through the news feed, I saw an advertisement of a rock concert happening in Karachi. And that got me excited. I said, man, let's relive those days. Let's call all the friends and have a great reunion, and let's celebrate. So I was about to call my friends. But as I was about to call, I saw the price tag. It was 3,000 rupees. Oh. It was not that much for me, I can bear that. But I know if I call my friends, especially Umar, he would say 3,000. Even if it was 300 rupees, I'm not going to pay. You know that. Don't you remember how we used to sneak through the security checks and attend all the concerts for free in our teenage lives? I said, yes, I remember. And I went to the memory lane, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Me and my friends were standing right in front of the stadium, and there was a Janoon concert going on. We turned up in our black attire. I had long hairs at that time. I was wearing a bandana, and I was wearing a t-shirt that said, today is a doomsday. Although we turned up at the stadium in our full attire and we were perfectly suited for the occasion, but our pockets were empty, as always. We, being the usual sneaky skinflints, we never bought tickets. Instead, we believe in this saying that the best things in life are always free. So, what we had devised a plan. Two of my friends would go back at the back of the line where there was a line and the guards were checking the tickets. And two of my friends were standing at the back and two of us were standing in the middle. There were some more boys standing ahead of us. There was a fat boy right in front of me. So the strategy was my friends at the back, what they would do, they would start to fight and scream and punch each other. They would cause a chaos. And some of the guards would go and control the crowd and control the chaos at the back. And I noticed that the guard checking the ticket is not moving. So what I did, I pushed the fat boy in front of me. And as he fell down, the guard stood up to pick him up. And I knew that was my moment. I rushed into the stadium and I vanished into the ground. And I was enjoying and headbanging the rock music and the guitar music. And at that moment, somebody came and he tapped on my shoulder. I looked back. A muscular mustache security guard. Your party is over, boy. It's time to go home. I don't know how I got that confident. I said, there must be some misunderstanding, sir. I bought the ticket. I have it with me. And he looked at me and he said, you and your friends caused that havoc outside and now you are fooling me. You have the ticket, show it to me. And I started searching as if I had the ticket. I knew I was doomed because that was the doom. I pretended to search for the ticket and out of nowhere, that same fat boy turned up and he said, hey bro, here's your ticket. I looked at him and I said, are you an angel? He said to the guard, he's with me. The guard said, okay, man, fine. Enjoy your show. I took the ticket, I looked at him and I hand over the ticket to him. I don't even thank him and I run away. In life, we do so many things like this. We push somebody down to take our spot. We drag someone to grab our spot. We lie, we mislead for our personal gains. As a boy, as a teenage boy, I did this for so many petty things. Tickets, biryani, burgers, treats, you name it. But as a man, as a grown-up man, I have decided there are only two ways to have the tallest building in town. Jim Rohn said. Number one is to tear everyone's building down, and the other one is to make your own building tall. Toastmaster.
Javed Bhatti came late to the meeting. When I observed first time to him, he was so slow. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. But I never imagined that you would have that kind of energy. That's great. The next speaker is TM Ali Ashar Anjum, and TM Latif Mansoor Ali is going to evaluate him. Over to TM Latif Mansoor Ali.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, I will be evaluating Toastmaster Ali Ashar Anjum's speech. He is going to embark on his pathway presentation, Mastery Level 3, Project 1. It is all about persuasive speaking. Persuasive speaking is something you talk about with engaging the audience to any topic, any subject, any material, whatever you have, with an act of thing or with acts of words. And he is a magician with words. So this might be his day or his project. The purpose statement of the project is for the member to understand the type of persuasive speeches and deliver a persuasive speech at a club meeting. So here we are, all club members waiting and letting him to get us connected with his speech. Timer, please note, speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. Speech title: Someone is watching you. Toastmaster Ali Ashar Anjum, someone is watching you. Good luck. Was I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Okay, okay. Welcome, Ali, please.
La, 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 hurrah! Sorry, I forget that you all are watching me. And this meeting is recorded. Toastmasters and guests, you know that from the very first day, everyone is watching us. And we are so concerned about this thing that everyone is watching us. And that's why we have certain boundaries. Since my childhood, I want to do many things, but I have a fear that someone will see me or caught me. I still remember I was in class 6, the auditorium of Habib Public School, our last exam of computer. And that was the first and the last day I cheated. And how I cheated, I exchanged the paper with my friend twice. I was very courageous and optimistic. And due to that trick, I make up and got 25 numbers out of 50, and I got 50% marks, and I get in those exams. But I was failed. Because at that moment, I was perceiving that no one was watching me. Yes, no one was watching me. But for the next 3 days, I couldn't sleep because that was not me. It was not me who cheated. It against my value, my personality, my aura. Everyone fails. We have that fear that someone is watching us. And that's why we do many things. I just do this and do this thing because I was perceiving that no one was watching me. Otherwise, I was never did it. Because I'm a professional Toastmaster, I shouldn't do that thing. Because you all are watching me. And that's where made me realize, okay, I should not do that. When we grow up and became parents, we limit ourselves because we said, okay, our child are watching us. My younger brother is watching me, so I should not do that thing. Parents, teacher, friends, siblings, and we all are doing many things and limiting ourselves by not doing many things just because someone is watching us. But we forget that when no one is there, there is someone who is always watching. That is you yourself. Those masters, whenever we do anything wrong, what happened? The guilt. The guilt that make you restless or make you that, oh, you have done something wrong, really wrong. And that was just an initial stage. But if you continue to do that thing repeatedly, your sensitivity to that deed would be resolved or vanished. We all did cheating, and we all bribe policemen, and we take it as a compliment. Oh, I made that policeman food. So that, and he didn't caught me. But there was someone that it inside you who was always watching you and made you realize that something is wrong. We as a society are lacking this sensitivity of claiming that right is right and wrong is wrong. We lack integrity. And due to that thing, what happened? We lack civic ethics. We always protest for our rights. We want this, we want this, we want this. But forego our responsibilities. Our responsibility towards other, our responsibilities to each and every one of the society, to take care of our city, own our city. Because somehow, by doing cheating again and again, our guilt is disappointed with us. And now it not feel like guilty of doing those things. So Toastmasters, if no one is seeing you or watching you, there is one who is watching you, and that's you. And you are the most accountable person to assist you. Over to the Toastmasters.
After a long first educational session, the speeches has been finished. And now I would like to ask timer that everyone has been qualified, or still there is some kind of gap.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm pleased to announce that all the speakers are qualified, and I request our de facto vote counter, DT and Talha, to please chair the vote.
Actually, vote
oh, that's great.
Has already.
Yes. Yeah, our designated
Timer, what is Ali Ashar's speech?
Sorry.
Timer, what is Ali Ashar's speech length?
Ali Ashar's speech length. What was it?
5 to 7 now.
Yeah.
No. How much time it took?
How much time he wants for the evaluation?
Okay, so should I announce everyone's time so
No,
that
no, just
evaluators-
since Latif wants to know.
Okay, so Toastmaster Latif, for your information, Toastmaster Ali Ashar took 7 minutes and 20 seconds.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Oh, one more announcement. All the evaluators are requested to share their marks on how the speech has adhered to its objectives, and the scores are from out of 10. Please send your messages personally to me. Waiting for your responses. Toastmaster of the day.
Now we are going to start the table topic session because the voting has been done and timer has already announced the details. So I would like to give the charge to TM Sidra Latif Awan to start the process of table topic. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm glad that you guys know my full name now. Sidra Latif Awan, that's a surprise. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests, if there are any, and soon to be Toastmasters, if there are guests. So just please, please give me a go ahead that I am audible and visible.
Yes, you are.
Perfect. So I have been assigned with this table topic segment of the meeting, and I'm doing it for the first time. So I'm just trying to improvise it because I haven't seen any tutorial, and I'm just learning from people who are doing it on and off. So as we all agree that one thing can mean differently to different people. I hope everybody agrees to that. For instance, a problem for me can be very small, but the same problem can be very big for TM Imran Rana. So it's all about our experiences, our frame of reference, our windows on the world, how we interpret and give meaning to things, right? So what I actually selected today for today's table topic segment are basically most frequently used words that we involuntarily use in our daily life, but those same concepts, those same words and terms mean way different to one another. So I just wanted to explore some of our Toastmasters fellows. How do they interpret those commonly used concepts, and what do they understand by those commonly used phrases or terms? So I'm going to give selected Toastmasters a word, a concept, and they are going to tell us their exposure, their interpretation, or their meaning to that very concept. And I'm sure in the end you will be very surprised to the different and various definitions of very common words or very common concepts that we think that mean same to all of us. So I have 5 words or 5 concepts, and I am not sure who is going to select the Toastmaster table topic participants. If it's me, let me know. So I'll just handpick one by one.
Sorry, yeah, Toastmaster Sidra, the method is that you select and
Okay.
You try to select people who don't have a major role, and you try also to invite guests.
All right.
We have one guest.
Yeah, we have one guest.
Okay, so for the ease of his reference, let me call upon someone, a seasoned Toastmaster, so he actually can deliver a table topic speech, so he can learn how is it done. I mean, or he can see how is it done. Then we can call upon the guest, right?
Yes,
so table topics, basically, just for the ease of reference, table topic speeches are impromptu speeches, meaning they have no structure. You are not supposed to worry about and give time to organize your speech. So whatever comes to your mind after hearing the word or concept, you're okay to say it out loud and share your idea or your reflection to that concept, and that's how it's done. So the time is very short and it's impromptu, so it's okay, whatever comes to your mind, you're okay to speak that. So I'm going to call upon stage Miss Urusa Kamal first and foremost. I'm going to give her a word, gratitude. So let's hear from Ms. TM Urusa Kamal. How would she interpret or give meaning to this word? TM Urusa.
Toastmaster Sidra, I'm the evaluator currently.
I'm sorry. So okay, Timur, I didn't know that. Sorry. All right, so let's swap it with Mr. Ghulam Kadir. TM Ghulam Kadir, please come on the stage and share your idea or your interpretation of the word, concept, gratitude.
And Toastmaster, also keep reminding the word of the day to the participants.
Yes, the word of the day is optimism or optimistic, being positive, being open.
So what's the topic?
The concept is gratitude. You have to tell us, how do you interpret gratitude? What gratitude means to you? What value do you attach with this word, with this concept when you hear it?
Okay. Okay. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, gratitude, a very, very important trait which should be part of our life. The reason being, if we do not have gratitude, we will not be able to thank our Almighty Allah. Because what we are today, whatever our blessings which has been given to us is all because of the Almighty Allah. So every day, every time, whenever we feel like we are low, we need to remind ourselves the blessings which we have. We need to tell ourselves that don't be sad. Don't get into this situation. This phase, this time will pass on, and you will reach to a place where you will be back again, happy, and the situation will improve. So gratitude is very important. It keeps us going, it keeps us moving, and it should be part of our day-to-day life. Over to you, table topic master.
Thank you, TM Ghulam Qadir, for opening up and letting us know what you think of gratitude. Next up, I would call upon the stage the guest of the evening. I'm not sure who is that.
Zahid Abbas.
Mr. Zahid Abbas, right? Mr. Zahid Abbas, can we have you on stage, please, if you are there? Yeah. Hello. All right. So I'm just gonna give you a topic which might be a little difficult, but let's say it's easy also. So what do you think about making judgments about people, like judging people or being judgmental? What do you have to say about this?
Well, this is my first speech, and I have not prepared for communicating and telling about any topic, so that I am please.
You can just introduce yourself. Okay.
Yes, I am.
We are not judgmental.
I am the colleague of Mr. Ali Zahan. He insists me to come with him and join Toastmaster. I asked him what is the ultimate goal of Toastmaster. He told me that it is ultimate improve your interpersonal skills. You can improve your interpersonal skills, and you will enjoy the session. Once you, I will bear your first. If you enjoy it, you can continue.
Okay. And okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Zahid. Thank you. It was nice to have you here. So should I pass on this topic to someone else, or should we just move on to the next one?
Move on to the next one.
Move on, because people have already heard this topic. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, exactly. So let me call upon stage Miss Mariam Aftab Kidwai, and I would give her the topic. Okay, she's online. So Miss Mariam, can you please unmute your mic and turn your video on? Just to check if you're available. Yeah, hi.
I'm sorry. Hi.
All right.
Please just give me a second.
Sure.
Like it's kind of a rule that if Toastmaster Mariam is not a speaker, she has to be called for table topics. Otherwise, yeah, we never hear the end of it. So yeah, please.
All right. So Miss Mariam, we would like to hear your idea on mental health. What do you think of mental health?
Our current topic, I would say. Well, yes. Let me take a selfie and post it online. Well, let me tell the world how happy I am and how blessed I feel. Is this all what I want? Or I want the approval from the world to accept me the way they want. These days, social media and other platforms have taken over our lives. And thus, this affects our mental health. Well, being a mother, I don't have time to do all those things. If I feel happy, I feel it for myself. I don't post it online. I don't need other approval. But yes, those who do that, they are lonely inside. How many times have you seen, I'm feeling bad, feeling cry, need help, feeling sad? So many likes and comments I've seen on those posts. What happened? Should I come? Oh my God, tell me. I want, if you want, I can help. But how many in real life come to you, to your doorstep, give you that shoulder, say those words in reality? We do see and we have witnessed the suicidal attacks, suicides these days that are a part of those mental health. We do not talk about, which is the ground reality that one should know and should definitely look into. Thank you, and over to you.
Pleasure. Thank you, Ms. Mariam Aftab. Thank you. And yes, I would just like to resonate with her. Please look out for your fellows, for your friends, for your families. Just observe their changing behavior and see if they seek help. And there are sadness around you. You just need to check on each other every now and then. All right, moving on. Yeah.
This will be your last speaker.
That's last. Absolutely. 5 speakers. I actually had 4. I had to add 1 more when I saw the number of speakers table topic. So, all right. My last topic is for Mr. Saad Shoaib, if he's available. TM Saad Shoaib. Are you available, TM Saad?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. I cannot see you. Can you please turn the camera on? If you can.
We just witnessed.
Oh, hi. Oh, you're here. Okay. All right. Hi, Saad.
We just witnessed a paranormal phenomenon.
I'm so sorry. So I hope you.
And you
I hope you're doing good, TM Saad. It's a long time I saw you. Great. All right. So I would actually present or give you a topic which is very prevalent these days, and everybody's working and talking about this. It's diversity. You can actually specify it gender diversity or diversity in general. So over to you.
It was February 2019. Before things went haywire, we were totally stuck in our houses. We had nothing to do. We were isolated by the world, and when everyone around the world was actually stuck. But my speech has absolutely nothing to do with COVID. It actually happened. It actually happened before that, when I was attending an MUN at IBA. I thought, okay, it's a nice opportunity to go out and basically use the skills. I use the skill of Toastmaster to go and meet new people. That committee also had the blind people, the blind, the deaf. You can say the differently able people. So I thought, okay, it's an easy win for me. But the knowledge they had, the effort they put in, their stats, their numbers, and actually at the last day I was like, okay, let them win. So that actually taught me that diversity is very important. We can't just push people aside because of their appearance, their abilities, their looks, their religion, their sect, and all that. So I believe diversity is very important in all aspects of life. Over to you.
Fabulous. Thank you very, very much for enlightening us with this amazing concept and elaboration of the word. So I'm done with all the topics that I have on my hand, and now I would hand it over to Toastmaster of the evening, Mr. Bajahad Kazmi. I'm not sure of the name.
Ending of table topic session, I would like to ask timer to check if everybody qualified.
Yes, all the 4 speakers are qualified for voting.
And I would request towards the vote counter to start the procedure. You can move. Now it's time to have a general evaluation, and I would like to request the general evaluator to come here and give the complete and detailed remarks of overall scenario of the meeting.
Yes.
This is the third section of today's meeting and a very important section. But before that, our theme for today's meeting is intellectualism. And the word of the day is optimism. And both these words and both these traits go hand in hand for a Toastmaster. So I was just thinking, what will be an intellectual Toastmaster will look like? And I just looked around and I saw every Toastmaster, intellectual Toastmaster around me. Because if we would not have been intellectually strong, we would not have been sitting over here in this meeting. So this is the first trait which every Toastmaster has. Secondly, optimism. We are very optimistic that to improve our public speaking skills. That optimism has brought to us in this meeting to improve our this skill set. So both goes hand in hand, and that is the part of the theme of today's meeting and word of the day. So the first part of this section will be the evaluations of the prepared speeches which have been done today. The second part will be the table topic evaluation, and the third one will be a general evaluation to be done by myself. So let's start with the first part of this section, that is the evaluation of the prepared speakers. So let me invite Toastmaster Shamsuddin Neman, who shall be evaluating DTM Sarfaraz Nazir. The stage is yours.
Toastmaster Shamsuddin sir, are you there?
You can call the next.
Yeah. So let's invite the second evaluator of the day.
Shamsuddin sir appears to be here.
Yeah, he's in the meeting, but maybe he's away or something. Toastmaster Shamsuddin, are you there?
Okay, his mute maybe.
Yeah.
His mic is off probably. Yeah,
He's there.
He's here.
Yes.
So yes, brilliant. Toastmaster.
Was it my turn? I'm sorry, I was just had a call.
Yeah, sure. So
My turn to evaluate?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
please go ahead.
yes, sir.
Okay, fellow Toastmasters. As commonly advised, I would like to highlight the strengths of a speech or the positive aspects of the speech first, followed by any efforts, if required, for the future improvement, which I am sure would be very little in the instant case. DTM Sarfaraz Nazir, your start was very confident, beginning with sound greeting. Then you mentioned an ordeal which went around the last moment of your sister, Dr. Shamim, I would especially like to comment something, fellow Toastmasters. The speaker today has shared something which I would particularly call a public advisory, which is quite beneficial for all of us. See, usually what people avoid to speak on in practical life, he has spoken at length those aspects very openly, and I appreciate very much these sharings. He also effectively bifurcated the belongings left by a deceased person between what needs to be inherited and what not. The advices I think have a very practical application in the ordinary life, and would be of up to greater extent of social advantage. So far the body language of a speaker is concerned, the speaker used his hands quite in tandem with the messages he was to communicate with the audience. And his facial expressions were also very much synchronizing with the content that he wanted to share. Fellow Toastmasters, what I would like to say about the improvements, it is when he spoke of his sister's death, DTM Sarfaraz Nazir, you could give us some expression of grim feelings or sad expressions on your face, which could factually relate with the event of her last moments. Finally, DTM Toastmaster, it's not a limitation on your end, but it's obviously because it was a virtual session and you were speaking or writing from US. Otherwise, we would like to see your physical experience and your full body language, and would enjoy, rather would like to see ever how do you stand before the audience and how do you speak in a venue or a auditorium. That's something I could note it as my observations. Overall, it was a very, very beautifully orchestrated speech. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shudeen Meman. So our next evaluator will be DTM Talha Bin Hamid, and he shall be evaluating Toastmaster Karim Meghani.
No. The evaluator Toastmaster Taha.
Sorry, my apologies, my bad. So Toastmaster Taha, are you there?
Yes.
So Toastmaster Taha, you shall be evaluating Toastmaster Karim Meghani. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Now, am I audible properly, Toastmaster Imran Rana?
Yes, you're perfectly audible.
Okay. Talking like a treasurer, and especially how to attract new members and convincing existing members to renew. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, today I'm evaluating Karim Meghani, and he walked us through how a real treasurer performs his role. A very well organized speech, very informative speech, and the humor he used was spot on. As I was sitting miles away, still can hear the orchard room laughing at beach luxury to his speech. His clarity was really great, good with wordings, eye contact on the camera as he was delivering his speech non-physically. The use of gesture was really good in front of the camera, and it would have been excellent if he was delivering his speech physically. Audience awareness, a topic that we all know and we all want to speak on this topic. All the audience were aware and very beautifully engaged. And even they were answering to his speech, even he was not asking the audience to reply. The comfort level has been the key to deliver a good speech. The interest, he involved every member or whoever was listening to the speech, and he grabbed the interest. And the way Karim Meghani, you involved Madagascar Toastmaster Club, shared the aspects of the club, was a great public relations strategies. I would like to mention the 3 strategies which I will also focus on. He mentioned while regaining the renewals of the members. First, installment process. I guess we are also going to include this process because now, since I'm married, giving the whole fees will be difficult for the married people. Use of poster and president making a speech. Our president always, you may want to work on your emotions when you're showing a very we convinced 20 members. I thought that lacked a bit on the emotion side, and your involvement in your speech. To challenge yourself, you can try getting more members in the Madagascar's club. I guess that was the real aim of your speech. So all in all, a really well presented speech, a brilliant performer, a brilliant speaker, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Excellent evaluation, Toastmaster Taha. So the next speaker was DTM Talha Bin Hamid, and he shall be evaluated by Toastmaster Karim Meghani.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Good evening, members and guests. Mr. DTM Talha's title speech was Wrigley Scott, and it was obviously an icebreaker speech. But anyone listening outside this room that not known to the KTC club would have mistakenly took it as a qualified scientist giving a Big Bang Theory speech. And then how very nicely and cleverly he landed onto the actual topic, which was obviously his birthday, starting from 20th of June, 1978. And then throughout his speech, he gave us the key timelines, his key achievements, when he qualified as a chartered accountant in 2002, married at 2008, becoming a parent, but all in all, encompassing it within a story, within a galaxy timeline. If I could have immersed myself into a galaxy, I was somewhere in the stars, sun, moon, everything is just there, and you're not actually felt in the room. And I think it would have added a little bit of touch if you had shut off the lights. It would have definitely have felt like a galaxy. Just a few improvement points, if I may. So, your stage presence was there. Obviously, it was there. You are natural to it. But I thought it could have been a little bit coordinated with your timeline. For example, you mentioned that after 650 million years, and you came here. And then the second timeline was 1 billion years. So I would have thought you would have come here, but I think you kind of stayed here. And then after that, your coordination was a little bit missing on this stage. In your speech, you gave us the key timelines when you became, how many A's you got and B's you got and when you qualified. I thought we would have liked to know a little bit more about you in your story, like what has changed after you became married, how things have affected you. It has certainly affected me. So I would just and after you became a parent, how things have changed for you, what your perhaps the future plans are, a little bit more color to your life, to your future, and to your current position. I think that would have really added a color to your story overall. In conclusion, I think it was a great way to tell a bit about yourself within a story. I think icebreakers can get a little bit awkward because you're talking about yourself, but sandwiching it within a story, there's definitely a lot for us to learn, certainly for me, and we look forward to your next speeches. Thank you, Mr. Coach.
Well, Toastmaster 5, it's always difficult to evaluate such a what I would call it, of course, our district director, DTM Talha, but you have done a wonderful job. Let me commend you with that. All right, so our next speaker was Toastmaster Weshan Aziz, and he shall be evaluated by DTM Sarfaraz Nazir. DTM Sarfaraz, stage is yours.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests, and especially you, Toastmaster Weshan. First, I'm going to tell you what I liked about your speech, then I'll give you my suggestion for improvement. The three things that I liked about your presentation include your humor. You sprinkled humor throughout your speech. You open your speech by asking a question, the difference between men and women. You could hear the laughter in the room. When you talked about reading body language, and you mentioned that if I said this, it would be my last meeting here. There was a big roar of laughter. When you were giving us some sign languages and talking about silence, saying that it has different meaning in different cultures, I noticed that people were laughing throughout your speech. So I liked the humor that you had included in your speech. The next thing I liked about your speech was your organization. You had three main points in your speech. The first one was body language. The second one, sign language. And the third one, silence. I like the way you structured so we could follow your speech from one segment to the next. I also liked your focus and concentration. While you were giving your speech, I noticed that distinguished Toastmaster Talha walked by you. He stood behind you to take a picture. It did not faze you. You continued to speak. Not even for a moment you paused, as if this DTM Talha did not exist. And I like that, your concentration while giving your speech. Now, let me tell you how I think you can improve your speech. The project or the purpose of your speech was body language, but I felt that your body language was very limited. You used your hands a little bit, but there was no movement, left or right, forward or backwards, no facial expressions other than just your hand gestures. When you were talking about that women are better in reading body language than men, you could have given an example, because I found it odd that you were speaking before a room full of men. I don't think so there's a female in that room. You could have taught them a lesson that when a female is upset, she has a frown on her face. She has an upset face and her hands are folded, and the man doesn't understand what's wrong. And he says, and he has the courage to ask her, "What's wrong, honey?" She said, "Nothing." You could have taught them Idiots, this is what she means. When she's upset, you don't ask her what's wrong. Because if you don't know what's wrong, she's not going to tell you. So I liked your speech because of your humor, your organization, your focus and concentration. I would like to see some more body language and movement during your presentation. I liked your speech and I look forward to your next one. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Toastmaster Weshan, I envy you. Because you got an evaluation from such an experienced Toastmaster. And Mr. VP, my next speech should be evaluated by me.
Your next speech is your icebreaker speech, right?
My
icebreaker.
the pathway finish. What is that?
Reflection.
Reflection pathway.
No. We won't allow DT and Sarfaraz to evaluate that. If you deliver your icebreaker speech, then we will love it.
That will be in the next meeting. Okay, so moving on to the next evaluator. The next speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Hiba Rais Khan, and she will be evaluating the speech of Toastmaster Umair Munaf. Toastmaster Hiba, stage is yours.
Okay, PM Umair Munaf, you had a good, interesting title of to your speech, which immediately caught my attention. Having a good communication skill is very important nowadays in today's professional environment. Okay, during the time you spoke, you had good clarity and confidence. You had good eye contact, and I found you looking at the camera and at the physical audience both. And you had good hand and body gestures, which you used to express yourself during the time you spoke in your speech. The audience were quite aware about what you were speaking. So there was good audience awareness, and because you were speaking about the 4 types of communication style, and there was good comfort level as well, and I could detect no signs of hesitation or nervousness during your speech. However, there was some room of improvement which I found in your speech. You could have firstly incorporated vocal variety to bring more depth and flair. And secondly, you could have brought a bit of more of your own experience, communication experience in your speech to bring more interest in your speech to the audience. And thirdly, you should have incorporated some impact of your own communication style on others, which I thought was lacking. And overall, it was an okay effort, and you should have put in more effort in the delivery and preparation of your speech. Over to the general evaluator.
Very much, Toastmaster Hiba Rais. So our next evaluator is Toastmaster Latif Mansur Ali, and he shall be evaluating Toastmaster Ali Ashar Anjum's speech. Toastmaster Latif, are you there?
Wait a minute, he should be here.
You can call Toastmaster.
Yeah, he's here.
Right. Great.
There is Latif.
Please send your score, Latif.
Oh, he's here. Great.
Please confirm if I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Great. Today, Toastmaster Ali Ashar Anjum, your speech not only make me think what kind of I am, what kind of person I am, and it reminded me for distinguished Toastmaster. He said once that you are the person what you do when no one is watching. It reminded me, it gave me the answer to think about ourselves of how better person we are and we do when no one is watching. There is no doubt you have completed all objectives of your speech. You are an amazing storyteller. Your choice of words, speech craft, the act, the way you started the speech, the gestures, and the whole coverage of the area available for your speech.
with all these good things, the way you deliver, I felt that asking some questions in middle of the stories would have really helped us. For example, as you completed and you said you were thinking and you did not rest it for 3 days, you could have asked the audience, were you caught? Or do you had an opportunity to save? Secondly, I somehow missed that one timeline that you again got an opportunity to cheat and you did not. And I wanted to see the result, what happened, how you expressed and excelled yourself when you did not cheat. So these were the things which I always love into the speeches. As is a story, it has to be connected all the time. Lastly, I felt you could have added that an additional minute. For example, I felt that dragging that what kind of people we are or what kind of people you want to see in the society, you could have ended with a punchline saying, how about looking at me, having respect from this Toastmaster fraternity and myself, seeing myself at work, have made a big and larger impact on my life. Friends, cheating is not right. Not only for yourself, but that guilt will never let you sleep. I suggest that last second of dragging was a little more than having it a question to the team. So overall, interesting title, kept us hooked for the initial act, good, amazing gestures, craft, and storytelling act you have. Just having a question with the timeline series would have made this a big impact. Thank you once again, and congratulations on completing of level 1 project 3. Thank you. Take care. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster team. So we are falling behind the schedule time. So let's quickly move on to the last evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Anam Kadri, and she will be evaluating Toastmaster Javed Bhatti. Toastmaster Anam, stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, today we witnessed a very different trait of Toastmaster Javed Bhatti, how to sneak into the concert ticketless. And well, that left me thinking a little bit suspicious. It left me a little bit suspicious. Do we have the Sergeant at Arms here? Please make sure that he doesn't repeat this today with the KTC meeting as well. Jokes apart, Toastmaster Javed Bhatti, your speech was a competition, like it was equivalent to being going for the international competition. Very nice gestures, very good expression. Your body language was up to the par. Whatever the requirement of the speech was, your body language completely fulfilled those requirements. There was a great message in the end. Was it a story? Yes. Was it engaging? Yes. Was it humorous? Yes, it was humorous. And I could see a lot of people having smiles on their faces. One thing that took me a little apart from that was that while you were addressing to a third person, like that when the person caught you ticketless, you were actually facing towards the other end. And while doing that, you were off the camera. So I couldn't see your expression. So please keep in mind that try to incorporate these expressions while being on the camera in front of the screen, so that we get to know the expression of the third person as well as your expression to be more engaged and not to break the tempo of the entire speech. Also, at a few places, not all, while you were very expressive, you had the right gestures, but at some places I found that your gestures were coming in a second before your words. No, I think I said it the opposite, but your words were uttered a second before your gestures. If it was synchronized, like you uttered the word pat on the back, and it would have happened at the same time, it would have given a more engaging effect. Overall, Toastmaster Javed, it was a really nice speech, engaging. It was equally engaging. There were good gestures, good body language, confident enough, engaging enough. Just a little work on the facing towards the camera and a little in the delivery synchronized with your expressions, and you would ace this speech and the overall Toastmaster field. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. So this the first session of the evaluation comes to an end. Now the second session of the general evaluation session. Oh yes, yeah. So word count timer, has everybody qualified?
TTM, Sarfaraz, and Toastmaster Shamsuddin, they were overtime, so rest of the evaluators are qualified.
So Mr. President, what should we do?
What?
Shall we include them in the voting?
I withhold my comments and advise to go by the timers.
So Mr. Vote Counter, please close the poll. All right, great. Excellent. So it's time for the second section of general evaluation. That is the role holder reports.
No, table topic evaluation.
Oh yes, table topic.
Division director looking.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, perfectly fine. Yes, I forgot.
There she is.
So the second section is the table topic evaluation. So table topic shall be evaluated by Toastmaster Urusa Kawal.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Concepts mean differently to one another. That was a really nice concept, really nice table topic session, Toastmaster Sidra, and it made me realize that when people were speaking, I was introspecting, and I was introspecting every topic from my perspective, and that made me realize that everything really means differently to me from other people. So the first person to speak was Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir, and he spoke on gratitude. Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir, you had really good hand gestures, you had good steepling. You also used the stage very well. Your story started with being thankful to Allah and then how it helps, and you ended really well with a good CTA. I really couldn't find anything that you would have done differently in your speech. It was very, very crafted table topic session. The next speaker was our guest, Toastmaster Zahid. Congratulations, Toastmaster Zahid. You came onto the stage and you presented your very first speech. So let's give a round of applause for Toastmaster Zahid. And you introduced yourself instead of taking on the speech, and you have a great sense of humor. Everyone was laughing. So that's very well done. A small point of improvement. Instead of holding your hands back while you make a little bit of a tab on mental health. Toastmaster Karim, as usual, you started with a small blurb on what you think about it. Then your content expanded on examples.
No, actually, frozen.
Seems like a connection.
You had very good eye contact and a good CT. What improvement I would suggest down on us. So instead of that, just for you, Toastmaster Shred, there on the stage, you built your personal story and you started by giving the background and then you improved on it. Okay, so there is just a little bit of improvement. Maybe use the stage a little bit more on the sideways. That's about it from my side. Over to you, General Evaluator. Oh, I made time.
Very much, Toastmaster Urusa Kawal. So it's time for the role holders report. So let me invite and go into the sequence. The word master of the day, Toastmaster Umair Munaf.
Thank you, Toastmaster. And the word of the day used most of the time was Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir himself, and the number of times second most used was the Toastmaster Sayyid Wajah.
So next role holder will be our grammarian, Toastmaster Ali Zarban.
Like always, I couldn't find much mistakes, but I have some. I would like to. If he gets a gift, he wants to share. He doesn't rely. Don't do it. I shouldn't do it. That makes you. We cheated. The good use of grammar. He is a magician of words. When nobody is watching you, you are the one who is watching you. Thank you.
Excellent. Board holder is the listener. Toastmaster Javed Bhatti. Can we have your report, please?
Okay, although I was late, but you are never going to shy away from your role, even if you are late. So, anyways, I'm going to test your listening skills. Who is a qualified scientist of KTC?
GTM Talha.
Okay, Toastmaster GQ, explain 2 qualities of Toastmasters. What are they?
Gratitude.
Intellectual and optimistic.
Intellectual and optimistic. Who is now married and find it difficult to renew the membership? Okay, which band was playing in the concert?
Our favorite.
Mine too.
Who made this gesture?
The new guy,
Vishan.
Who paid the venue charges for our guest today? Who suggested to teach all the men a lesson to handle a wife in anger?
Sarfaraz, sir.
Excellent.
Right.
Listener report. And the last role holder, may I please invite our counter, Toastmaster Hiba Rais.
Okay, fellow Toastmasters, during the prepared speeches, DTM Talha Bin Hamid had 0 filler words. TM Umair Munaf, 1 R, 1 DTM Sarfaraz, 1 R, 1 TM Weshan, 1 and TM Karim Meghani, 1 R. TM Javed Bhatti, none. TM Ali Ashar Anjum, 1 R. And during the table topic speeches, TM Ghulam Qadir, none. Guest Zahid, if I'm correct, 1 R, 1 TM Maryam Aftab, 0. And TM Saad Shoaib, 1 R, 1 Over to the general evaluator.
Okay. So it's time for the general evaluators report. So our scheduled time to start the meeting is 6:45, and the meeting started at 7. I was not witness to it. I was told because I was late.
You weren't here. Yeah.
And I am to be blamed for this delay.
Yeah.
Right? And both the VP and President have endorsed it as well. So we all need to come on time. 6:30, we should be here. And we should try to wrap up our offices max by 6 o'clock. Because at least we need to keep a cushion of 30 days margin, 30 minutes margin to come to the venue. Overall, the speech quality of all the speeches were superb, were wonderful. Like DTM Talha commented on the WhatsApp group that they were of the international contest standards. And I would totally agree with it. All the speeches were wonderful and they can easily compete in a contest whenever we can have that. So wonderful speeches. So let me add on that. So if we are having this much of quality speeches, and the renewals are just around the corner. So please don't forget that you need to renew your membership in the month of March, which is just a few days ago after this meeting. If I comment on to the table topics were amazing, very well chosen, and the table topic speakers, all of them very well, they spoke very well. Overall meeting went very well, and we are just short of time. We should have ended this session by 9:10 and should have handed over to DTM Talha. We are running 15 minutes late, as we started 15 minutes late. So let me just hand over the charge to our president.
Why?
Toastmaster. Oh, sorry, Toastmaster of the day. I'm doing this after a long time. That's why I'm making so much of mistakes.
It's okay.
What do you, Toastmaster of the day?
Very much to say. There was a very excellent meeting we had, and now it's time to move on to voting for Big Four. And then I would like to hand over the chart to Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you so much for while the votes are being compiled. First of all, I'd like our esteemed guests please come on the stage again. And don't speak on the topic, just give us your feedback about the meeting.
It was really enjoying. I feel a lot of pleasure here, and all of the participants are well performed here. As said, Mr. Aziz, I really enjoyed this session, and I will join this platform to improve my interpersonal skills in future.
Thank you so much. And it was an honor having you. And wow, I mean, what do I say about today's meeting? It was an absolute blast from start to finish. We did start late because of our general evaluator arriving late. But other than that, we were right on time in every aspect of the meeting. And yes, as pointed out by you, we started 15 minutes late, again due to your late arrival. But we are still 15 minutes late, and that's nothing short of a miracle. Today was, and again, fingers crossed, because today I was concerned about the whole problem with internet that's going on since the last 2-3 days. Undersea cable had been affected, and we got glimpses of it in the starting of the meeting when this laptop refused to connect. But everything went so exceptionally smoothly, and the speeches were absolutely world class today, one after another. And you know, it felt as if every speaker, after listening to one speaker, you're saying that, okay, this would be the winner, but then the next speaker would come on and you would change your mind. And same goes for evaluations, exceptional today. The table topics were exceptional today. Very well conducted and very well attempted, all the table topics. So this is something that we should all feel grateful for, to have executed another quality meeting. And at least in my eyes, it was maybe our best meeting in a few weeks. Not to belittle the previous meetings, but, and again, as one participant pointed out, I'm not demolishing other buildings to raise this one up. This building actually raised itself up beyond others in terms of speech quality. And also, Sarfaraz, you absolutely missed nothing. I mean, seriously, I don't know how anyone can be so observant through the.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. And you rightly spotted me sneaking out behind the speaker. That was a very bad thing to do. Even a new first-time guest like you, sir, you would not think about doing it. In my foolishness, I did it, and I apologize for that. But I felt too compelled to take a photo, overwhelmed by the speeches and everything. So I'll take care in the future. Message well taken, DTM Sarfaraz. Also, the other tips that you gave to all the men here, especially the married men, I'll withhold my comments on those due to certain very specific scenario. But I'll privately send my gratitude to you. So, do we have the votes ready?
Yes.
Oh, my mic is on.
Mobile phone.
Oh, okay.
You can call the vote counter to announce.
Yeah, of course, of course. Vote counter, please come on the stage.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, don't worry, this is not a speech. So the best prepared speaker award, after a very, very tough margin between two people, I won't say who of course, but yes, that was not a tie. So also my vote wasn't in it, but the best prepared speaker, Toastmaster Bhatti. The best table topic speaker, again, this was not a tie. My vote was not in this, but actually according to the votes, Toastmaster Sarfaraz. Same DT and Sarfaraz. So the best prepared speech evaluator by a long way. This was by a long way. Toastmaster Fahim Razak.
Vote for my speech, but vote for my evaluators. Thank you so much.
So the best facilitator award goes to the listener, Toastmaster Bhatti. Big Four awards, of course, from the very start to the end. The Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Bajaj.
I have one thing to say to you. Why the hell did you not participate in national speech?
Yes.
Oh, no, I should not say that. It's a good thing you did not participate. Oh, that makes it even worse. Do any of you have an extra bedroom or something? Anyhow, so I have a few results of my own, which are the Critics' Choice Awards. And first, the Critics' Choice Speeches. The third place goes to myself. Thanks for clapping, but not voting. The second place goes to DTM Sarfaraz. The first place goes to a textbook contest speech, Toastmaster Bhatti. Evaluation Critics' Choice goes third place to Toastmaster Latif Mansoor Ali. Second place to Toastmaster Anand Kadri. The first place again goes to Toastmaster Karim Meghani. Thank you, critics. Like third place for me and first place. Fine. Message taken. So with that, we bring this meeting to a close with sincere gratitude to all of you. And again, when we were, myself and Imran were roaming around here at 6:15, there was this diddly spot scenario where there was no one there. The room was empty and there was silence, and now miraculously it is almost full and the online is also full. So I'm sincerely grateful to all of you, honestly, for attending the meeting today and coming to this meeting today. And I hope that the meeting lived up to your standards, and also it proved worthwhile to all of you. Now,
It was.
do we have a few announcements, Mr. VP Education?
Thank you so much, President. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, our academy session is on Saturday. So we will be meeting role players like evaluators, language evaluators, and others. So I will be sending messages to all of you quite a number of times.
Once per hour.
Yes.
Yes. No, I did not approve that. I merely reported what you do.
No, I learned from you, right? So, and Wednesday meeting is on the way. So over to you.
Okay. Okay. So thank you so much. One other heads up. The Urdu speech contest of the area is also nearing. Yeah, it's not confirmed, Maybe it's this Saturday or maybe sometime next week. But remember that we have our two winners from Urdu Speech Contest, Toastmaster Ashar Anjum and Toastmaster Azhar, because our second place winner is actually competing from TCF Toastmasters Club. So it is important that we are there whenever it happens. We are there to cheer our contestants.
Yes.
And let's make it a complete sweep. So, see you, inshallah.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thank you
See
so much.
Bye-bye.
Yes.
Bye.
No one votes. Actually, there's a secret judge who compiles the result.
Secret judge?
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone.